Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Joseph. Returnal is freaking awesome. I got to play 4 hours of the game one day early, and I'm going to give it right away my hands-on impressions of what I thought about it and why this game is so great. Starting with the good stuff is that the controls are extremely tight and responsive, and the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, as many have pointed out, are really used to the best capacity. And I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan so far. I haven't been sold on the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, and they're really utilized well because they add to the gameplay in here. And not to mention the sound design is actually really good because you can echolocate each of the creatures following you, and just this overall atmosphere it creates with the haptic feedback and sound effects of rain hitting the controller, and you hear the controller vibrating as you hear it in the headphones. It's just overall great design overall to immerse you into the world. Not to mention the combat feels absolutely fantastic. It definitely does have a learning curve, but it's a fun learning curve to the game. It's quite challenging to play, and I've actually died a lot until I start getting some decent runs. And the aesthetic overall has a very strong Prometheus or Live, Die, and Repeat vibes, as well as in the story and just the visual aesthetic overall. The graphics themselves, honestly speaking, they're not that impressive. I thought Demon Souls for PS5 was a much better looking game, but effects, artwork, and the overall world design, that's what really makes this game shine in the graphical department. It really has a unique feel to the game and a unique lore and world that's absolutely fascinating to kind of discover as you play more and more. And I think the best thing about this game, along with the combat for me, is this mixture of exploration, platforming, and the combat. It becomes very addictive on each run to explore, try to find just the best items to get yourself just a little further in each of your runs. The couple of bad things I want to point out right off the bat is I don't think the game needs a save button, as there's been a big issue made all over the internet. But I mean, it's the point of a roguelite, and a roguelite game is that there's a consequence to death and you have to restart. But I do think a quick save option would be nice, like in Curse of the Dead Gods. Especially, I had a run ruined by the game crashing, and I had to redo the whole thing, and the runs are much longer. You really have to take your time on these runs and explore to get as many resources as possible. So a quick save option would be really awesome, but again, it doesn't in any way would detract my rating from the game so far. And this is not a negative, but there might be a lot of systems for newcomers to the genre who've never played a roguelike or a roguelite to deal with. And on top of that, the game is quite challenging, so it might turn some people off. And I wanted to warn some that I think it's worth the frustration and it's worth learning to get to a point, because once you get in the groove and the swing of things, there's really not much like it. This feels more like in 2D version Dead Cells, when you really start getting into the zone in Dead Cells and you can jump around, slice, and go all over the map. This is how you're gonna feel in this game, but in 3D. Somebody pointed out it's Metroid. 100% it's Metroid with Prometheus look. The only negative I got as of now, though, is that the rooms start to repeat themselves a little bit from each cycle to cycle, and it becomes very evident despite the fact that it's a randomly generated world. You can clearly tell where they place certain pieces, and you start to recognize how to run from each one of these areas. But it's not that bad, because still you have to string into different rooms, which of course eventually brings you into other areas you've never been into, or give you surprises in areas you weren't expecting. And the last complaint I have as of now is that I wish I had more time to play it. It's actually pretty late already here, and I'm recording this video quite late. I just wish I was playing it more, but responsibility calls and I'm gonna have to go to work in the morning. But guys, as of now, the 4 hours I've played, it's what I said it was going to be. It's going to be the best roguelike game, or the highest quality roguelike game. If the story is going to be fantastic, I'm going to have to find out. As of now, I think the story has a really strong premise, and there's a really strong hook for you to want to find out what happens more, whether it's through call logs or certain actual story elements, or you discovering ancient monuments with their text, and then you're able to decipher what they say. The way they tell the story is great. In my opinion, better than Hades. I think Hades is overblown in the way that people tell how good the story is. I think it's a good story in Hades. I think this game does it better. And I highly recommend for you guys, $70, easy buy for this game. If you, especially if you're into this kind of replayability. If you want a straight game that's kind of A to B, beat it and drop it, I don't think this game is going to be for you, as it's going to have to require you to repeat a lot and really be patient and learn all the systems until you're really able to progress further. But hopefully, guys, you do give it a shot, and I would love to know from you what you thought of the game thus far. And if you do enjoy this kind of content, guys, make sure to subscribe down below. I'm going to start releasing tutorial videos for this game and guides as the week goes by, and starting next week, of course. Guys, make sure you enjoy the rest of your day, as this probably I'm going to be posting this in the morning, and have one good one. Peace out.